Have we outgrown love, or has love outgrown us? Here's a question. Why does love seem so much harder to find, to hold on to, and to truly believe in these days? We're living in a time when finding love feels more like an endless shopping spree, scrolling, swiping, and sifting through profiles. We want it fast, flawless, and perfectly tailored. But what we're left with often feels empty. And it's not just you. Across generations, across continents, people are feeling it too, that sense that modern love has somehow gone off script. Has love itself changed? Or is it just our expectations that have evolved to an impossible degree? Now, if you're curious about what really went wrong with modern romance, stick around, because we're diving headfirst into this tangled mess that was quick fixes and feel-good quotes, into the roots of why love today feels fragile, fleeting, and sometimes downright unattainable. In this video, we'll unpack the most seductive myths about love, the ideas we've been sold by fairy tales, pop culture, and social media, and we'll ask some tough questions. Are we expecting too much from love? Have dating apps turned us into relentless shoppers in an emotional marketplace? And if love today feels broken, what does it actually take to fix it? But here's the kicker. The real revelations come at the end. We're not just here to diagnose what's wrong with love. We're here to uncover practical, philosophical insights that just might help us all reconnect with love's deeper, lasting potential. So stay with me until the last, because if you've ever wondered why modern love feels like a struggle, or if you're just looking for a bit of hope in this digital love jungle, you won't want to miss what's coming. So we've set the stage. Love in our modern world feels like it's wearing a new and perhaps more uncomfortable suit. But where did our expectations come from? Why do so many of us feel like our romantic lives are falling short of some unspoken ideal? Let's explore the powerful myths of love that have shaped and perhaps sabotaged our understanding of relationships. And to do this properly, we need to take a walk through both the worlds of classic literature and modern pop culture, where these ideals were born and continue to thrive. First, let's tackle the most romanticized myth of all, the idea of the one, our elusive soulmate. The concept of a soulmate, so intoxicating, so beautifully simple. We've been sold this myth over and over, from the pages of Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet to the swelling soundtracks of Hollywood's greatest love stories. We're told that somewhere out there is a person who fits us perfectly, who completes us, as if love were a jigsaw puzzle and we were missing a crucial piece. This is the story we grew up with, but here's the problem. It sets us up for disappointment. If you believe in the one, then every flaw in your partner or challenge in your relationship feels like a sign that you've made a grave mistake. Yet philosophers like Plato painted love as a process, an ascent towards something greater, not a preordained match made in heaven. What if love is less about finding your missing half and more about two people choosing to grow together? Next up, let's deconstruct the myth of effortless love. This one is insidious, reinforced by the media we consume and even the language we use. We talk about falling in love as though it's something that should happen naturally and effortlessly. We imagine a great, all-consuming romance where sparks fly and problems resolve themselves with no need for hard conversations. But think of Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice. Even the famously romantic story of Elizabeth Bennet and Mr. Darcy is filled with misunderstandings, pride, and growth. Love, as the best stories show us, isn't easy. If we take a page from philosophers like Soren Kierkegaard, love demands commitment. Sometimes an irrational leap of faith commitment that defies the comfort of simplicity. Then there's the evergreen myth of happily ever after. We grew up watching Disney movies where love is the end point, the final prize after overcoming trials. But real love doesn't freeze in time at the perfect moment. It evolves, It adapts, and yes, it struggles. Our fairy tales conveniently skip over what happens after the wedding. Tolstoy's Anna Karenina reminds us of the slow, arduous transformations that real love entails. As Esther Perel puts it, we are asking one person to give us what an entire village used to provide. If we can accept that love will look different as we grow, we might start to see change not as a failure, but as a natural part of a lifelong dance. Finally, let's talk about romantic compatibility as destiny. We've been led to believe that true lovers never fight, that they finish each other's sentences. But compatibility isn't a static trait, it's a dynamic, evolving journey. Think of relationships not as equations to be solved, but as works of art to be painted and repainted. Alain de Botton argues that we are all, in some ways, incompatible, and that loving someone means embracing the chaos and the work of co-creating a life together. As Antoine de Saint-Exupéry wrote in The Little Prince, love does not consist in gazing at each other, but in looking outward together in the same direction. Let's start with Eros, the most thrilling, yet often the most misunderstood type of love. In Greek mythology, Eros was the mischievous god of love, striking mortals with uncontrollable desire. Today, this form of love is often reduced to a purely physical connection. But Plato had a different vision of Eros. Not just the hunger for physical pleasure, but a longing that could elevate the soul. Imagine Eros as a flame. When left unchecked, it can destroy. But when guided thoughtfully, it can illuminate our path to something extraordinary. Next, we have philia, the love of friendship, loyalty, and shared values. Aristotle regarded philia as essential to a meaningful life, describing it as a mirror to our souls, reflecting our best selves. True friendship in a romantic relationship adds the steady warmth needed to sustain love through life's storms. It's about sharing inside jokes, supporting each other's dreams, and being partners in life's journey. Finally, agape, the most selfless and transcendent form of love. This is the love that asks nothing in return, extending kindness and compassion even to those who may not deserve it. Agape challenges our culture of individualism, reminding us that sometimes love is about giving, even when it's inconvenient. What if we approached our partners with a spirit of empathy and selflessness, seeing them as flawed, beautiful humans deserving of unconditional care? The allure of nostalgia. We imagine a time when people were less distracted, more devoted, and endlessly patient with one another. The love stories of our grandparents feel like golden relics, but were these relationships truly idyllic? Or are we glossing over the societal and economic pressures that held them together? As philosopher Alain de Botton reminds us, the past can seem appealing only if one forgets how much weaker and less free individuals were. Contrast this with the complexities of modern love, where we value choice but often feel overwhelmed by its impermanence. We hear older generations say, patience kept relationships together, but was it true patience or simply a lack of alternatives? Today, patience means working through emotional challenges rather than enduring silent suffering. Modern love is complicated, but it also gives us the freedom to redefine what lasting love can look like. We're in a transitional era where old ideals clash with new freedoms, making love feel more difficult, yet also rich with new opportunities. 1. Choice overload and the commodification of love. Dating apps have turned love into a marketplace. We're always wondering if someone better might be one swipe away, leading to commitment phobia. 2. The conflict between individualism and emotional dependence. We crave deep connections, but also want to maintain independence. Relationships feel both essential and restrictive, leaving us torn. 3. Unrealistic expectations from media. We're bombarded with Hollywood love stories and social media couple goals, setting ourselves up for disappointment when reality falls short. 4. Fear of vulnerability. We desire intimacy but are terrified of being hurt, leading to shallow connections and emotional self-protection. 5. Economic precarity and its impact on love. Financial stress is a hidden factor that erodes even the strongest relationships, particularly affecting lower-income couples. 6. Technology's double-edged role. Social media fuels suspicion, while dating apps promise connection, but often deliver shallow, commodified experiences. 7. Gender imbalance in non-traditional relationships. Even progressive relationship models can perpetuate inequality, with gendered expectations still lingering. 8. Tension between self-love and selflessness. Balancing self-care with the compromise required in relationships has never been more challenging. 9. The loss of patience and perseverance. We expect instant solutions, but real love takes effort and resilience. Redefining compatibility as dynamic. View compatibility as a skill to be developed. Think of it as a plant that needs nurturing, adapting as both partners grow. Building philia is the foundation. Deep friendship is what keeps relationships strong. Prioritize laughter, shared hobbies, and mutual respect. Creating realistic expectations. Craft your own relationship values and have honest conversations about what you both want. Encouraging vulnerability, opening up about fears can lead to deeper connections. Vulnerability may feel risky, but it's what creates authentic bonds. Prioritizing community support. Rebuild your village. A well-rounded social network can take the pressure off your romantic relationship. Modern love isn't a fairy tale, it's an evolving, imperfect journey. We have the freedom to define our relationships and invest in mutual growth. Let's keep the conversation going. Drop your insights or stories in the comments. Modern love is full of complexities and frustrations, but have you ever considered that our need to control relationships might be part of the problem? In our next video, discover how the paradox of control affects every aspect of your life, and why what you try to control might actually be controlling you. Click to continue this eye-opening journey.